ॐ नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome all of you with my love and respect. I welcome all the living and practicing Hindus from all over the world. I welcome all the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Yajamans, Manifestors, Sarvaparityagis, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, visitors, viewers, Kayakalpa Yoga participants, Kailasas E-Gurukul students, Kailasas NHU students, Kailasas ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, consulate generals, and all the supporters, Paramashiva Ganas, Paramashivoham, season 10 participants. I welcome all of you with my love and respect. First, let's offer our worship and ourselves to Paramashiva Ganapati on this auspicious Ganesha Chaturthi Brahmotsavam, then enter into Satsang.
Nityanandam. On the auspicious 5th day of the Ganesha Chaturthi Brahmotsavam, Shri Mahaganapati Ananda Ganesha with 8 hands and 8 ayudhams is gracing in Sarvalankara, being on the Adhikaranandi Vahanam in the Adi Kailasa Nityananda Peetham. We now offer our worship at the feet of Shri Mahaganapati and His Divine Holiness Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam Swamiji. Sadatma Rupam Sakaladibhutam Amayinam Soham Achintya Bodham Anadi Madhyanta Vihinamekam Tamekadantam Sharanam Vrajamaha. Om Dhurasi Dhurva Dhurvantam Dhurvatanyo Osman Dhurvatitan Dhurvayam Vayan Dhurvamastvun Devanam Adhisastitamam Papritamam Juhtatamam Vanhitamam Devahutamam Ahritamasi Havirdhanandrigam Hasvamakva Armitrasyatva Chakhusha Prekshema Bherma Samviktha Matva Higumsisham. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Ananda Ganeshaya Namaha. Dhupamagrapayami. Om Uddipya Svajata Vedo Bhagnan Nirritim Mama Pashugischa Mahyamavaha Jivanancha Disho Disha Mano Higumsi Jata Vedo Gamashvam Purushan Jagate Abhibhradagna Agahi Shriyama Paripataya. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Ananda Ganeshaya Namaha. Yekaharati Deepam Sandarishayami. Om Madhuvatartayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhvirna Santvoshadhihi Madhunaktamutoshasi Madhumatparthivagam Rajaha Madhudyaurastuna Pita Madhumanno Vanaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhvirgavo Bhavantunaha Madhu Madhu Madhu. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Ananda Ganeshaya Namaha. Naivedyam Nivedayami. Om Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Tarakam Nema Vidyuto Bhanti Kutoyam Agnihi Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Om Sarvasyapyai Sarvasya Jityai Sarvameva Tena Apnoti Sarvanjayati. ओम गं गणपतये नमः। ओम श्री महागणपते नमः। आनंद गणेशाय नमः। सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वोपचार पूजार्थे सर्वापराध क्षमापणार्थे समस्त मंगल प्राप्त्यर्थे आनंद कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि।
Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Your conscious intention is the principal manifestation, primary expression, core concept called you. Understand? If you are a concept, core of you is your conscious intention. You need to know the good news is your unconscious mood swings does not matter. That is why knowledge, jnana, about what is right conscious intention is given so much of importance in Hindu tradition. That is why in Hinduism, the ultimate is called Veda, not Divya. Listen. The word Veda means knowing, knowledge. Divya means sacred. Veda, knowledge is sacred. We never try to make sacred as knowledge. No. We make knowledge as sacred. That is why I am saying most beautiful, liberal religion is Hinduism. I am telling you, for anyone who has started thinking, analyzing, Hinduism is the religion for them. The other day, some of my disciples who are working for the Kailasa project, they asked me, who are our clients, who are our customer base, to whom we should focus our reach out, Swamiji. I said, anybody who started thinking. Hinduism is for them, they are for Hinduism. Because whether you talk about the cosmos, its principles, or planets, the principles in which planets exist, the being of the planets, doings of the planets, please understand, as your modern science teaches, planets are not like some dead mechanism just going round, round, round. It is all living energies. That is why Surya Siddhanta can clearly, precisely calculate and tell you whether the past astronomical incidents, miracles, mysteries happened, or the future which is going to happen, or even simple clerical predictions of the routine happenings like Amavasya, Purnima, eclipse, even those things, the precision with which they can calculate is extraordinary, because Surya Siddhanta recognizes each of these planets as living forces. Please understand. Everyone who abused me when I spoke about the Einstein's theory trolled me for what I was trying to explain for Einstein's theory. Now listen. Anything which science defines as matter is not completely matter. The continuity, the frequency of the continuity is more prevalent in that than the frequency of intensity. For example, this table. In this table, the frequency of the continuity is more prominent than the frequency of the intensity. That is why this table seems to exist for more longer in this shape. So we start believing this as a matter. Matter is not absolute matter. It is combination. In a way, I can use the word permutation, combination of certain frequency of intensity, energy, certain frequency of continuity, matter. All energies, whether gravitation force or electromagnetic force or weak nuclear force or strong nuclear force. Only these four forces are known to modern day science. But Vedic tradition knows more than 11 forces, including consciousness, Chit. So now listen. All these four forces are not just pure energies. There is a level of matter involved even in the energies. Understand? In the energies, the proportion of the intensity is more than the proportion of the continuity vibration. The continuity component is less, intensity component is more. Those experiences and expressions of the universe, you call it as force, where the vibration frequency of the continuity is more than the frequency of the intensity, you call them as matter. Understand? First of all, try to understand what I try to explain as matter and energy. In Hindu tradition, not only in Hindu tradition, in reality, both of them are centered on Chit. consciousness, the Chidabhasa Swadantram, when the consciousness starts manifesting itself with a more percentage of continuity, you call that as a matter. With more percentage of intensity, you call that as energy. Listen. The truth I wanted to share with you all, source of the matter and energy is consciousness. So Hindu tradition very clearly explains whether planets or you, both are centered in consciousness. Chidambara Paraveli, in the pure conscious Milky Way, is the source of you or the planets. Modern day psychology, Vedic psychology. Modern day medicine, Vedic medicine. Modern day physiology, Vedic physiology. Modern day cosmology, Vedic cosmology. The difference between this is only one thing. In Vedic tradition, everything is conscious centered. You are not biomechanism in Ayurveda, you are bioorganism. In modern day medicine, you are biomechanism. They don't involve the component of consciousness, whether to diagnose you or cure you or treat you or attend to your illness or support you in any form. End to end, conscious component is not accepted as the active part of their whole profession, end to end. In Ayurveda, end to end, consciousness plays a major role. I tell you, in Tiruvannamalai, we had a Ayurvedic doctor. His name is Narayana Swami Tata. I should say that he is a master of Siddha and Ayurvedic science, both. Actually, in a way, end of the day, it's all from same knowledge source. Fools are those who say Ayurveda and Siddha are different. I tell you, in India, the many indigenous medical traditions, medicinal traditions, pharmaceutical traditions evolved for last few thousand years. He is Narayana Swami Tata. He is my guru in introducing the science of Aushadha as per Hindu tradition. Understand? I had the great opportunity to be under the feet of many gurus. Studying Shaivism under the great Vidwan Panduranganar, the Enlightenment science and Siddha tradition at the feet of Isaki Swamigal. One beautiful thing I wanted to put it on record here. before I move to the next subject, I want this to be on record. Listen. All my gurus, Annamalai Swamigal, who is disciple of Ramana Maharshi, and Isakki Swamigal. Isakki Swamigal had a direct initiation from Seshadri Swamigal, the predecessor to Ramana Maharshi. And of course, he had a very deep connection, involvement, deep devotion, reverence to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also. And his Isakki Swamigal's disciple, Kuppammal, who taught me the whole Shakta tradition, Vedanta tradition, and Yogi Yogananda Puri, who literally transformed my body into yogic body and gave me the whole knowledge and science of yoga. All of them, and the great Visiri Swamigal, Ram Surat Kumar, all of them had such amazing reverence for each other. See, it is not that they all just coexisted. They all were rooted in their sampradayas and high reverence for each others. Understand? Yogananda Puri will never compromise on authenticity of yoga and his complete being centered on yoga. The belief system, yoga itself can give you enlightenment. He will never compromise on that. But he had amazing respect, reverence for Annamalai Swamigal, who is absolute Vedanti. An amazing reverence for Ram Surat Kumar, who is an extreme pure embodiment of devotion, bhakti. And the great enlightened being Isakki Swami are the embodiment of Shakta tradition, Kuppammal, Vibhudananda Puri. All of them had amazing reverence for each other. And I've always seen Panduranganar, who is a great Shaivite. Sivapujai Tavarada Siddhanta Bhushanam Sarabam enna சொல்லலாம். Such great person had amazing reverence, respect to all the other great beings, whether Malayuchi Maunaswami. Uchimalai Maunaswami is the one who lived without food and without speaking. See, the kind of the reverence all of them had about each other gave me amazing energy, strength, possibility to imbibe all the traditions. I am the tree strengthened by all their sincere hard work and honesty to their tradition. I really want to put this on record. I want to tell all the Hindus, I want to sincerely request, please follow your sampradaya intensely. You will never have anger, violence, wrong attitude towards other Hindu sampradayas, because all the Hindu sampradayas are ultimately enlightenment, moksha based. They claim exclusivity only for you not to get diverted, distracted, wasting your time, energy. Never the exclusivity claim is on the goal. All our Kandana Mandana, the Shaivite saying Shaivism is the ultimate, Shakta saying Shaktism is the ultimate, and Vaishnavite saying Vaishnavism is the ultimate. All this Kandana Mandana was more not to let you get diverted and waste time, but not the exclusivity on the goal itself. That is why I insist. All Hindus follow your sampradayas intensely. All my gurus, such juicy people. I have seen Panduranganar. See, Panduranganar lived in a place called Kirnathur in Thiruvannamalai. It is little away from main temple. Now the Thiruvannamalai has grown up to Kirnathur and even beyond Kirnathur. In those days, the Kirnathur used to be like a village outside Thiruvannamalai. Because after the Thiruvannamalai, there will be a lot of agriculture field, farming, and then only you will reach Kirnathur in those days. Every day he will come by walk or in some two-wheeler. Some of his disciples, his students will pick him up and bring him to temple. I have seen whenever Tondemandala Adinam, Guru Maha Sannidhanam comes to Thiruvannamalai and camps in Thiruvannamalai, he will never, 230th Guru Maha Sannidhanam was ruling that time. So he will never miss bringing flowers and bilva for his puja. Same way, whenever Tiruchi Swami is from the Shakta Sampradaya, Vedanta Shakta Sampradaya, whenever he comes and stays, he will usually stay in Isanyamatam in Thiruvannamalai. Later on, he had built his own branch, Pavadakundur. Till then, he used to stay in Isanyamatam or Vayamatam, in the house, the mutt opposite to the house in which I was born and brought up. I have seen whether for Tondemandala Sannidhanam or for Tiruchi Swami, the absolute sincerity with which Panduranganar will bring flowers and bilva leaf. Same way Kuppammal. How sincerely she will try to collect some flowers, fruits, and go and have darshan of Kundrakudi Adigalar, whoever, or Kribananda Variyar. An amazing friendliness and understanding existed among all of them, created a very conducive ambience for me to imbibe, internalize all these traditions. Let me come to the truth I was revealing, whether modern day psychology or Vedic psychology, modern day physiology, Vedic physiology, modern day medicine, Vedic medicine, modern day cosmology, Vedic cosmology. The only difference is Vedic tradition approaches everything as conscious centered. We say the planet Saturn is not dead mechanism or just combination of few forces. We are very clear. He is living independent intelligence called Sanishwara. Listen, even now, I clearly connected with him. After receiving his blessings, I am talking. Sanishwara is a living, conscious, independent intelligence. Brihaspati, Guru, is conscious, independent intelligence who is the master of Jupiter planet. The Western cosmology or astronomy considers Jupiter as a planet, maybe with little abilities, capabilities, kind of a logically analyzable, understandable combination of matter and forces together. But in reality, Guru, Lord of Jupiter, is independent intelligence. He can respond to your prayers. He can manifest what you want in your life. Hinduism, even for physical diagnosis, uses astrology. If you go to a real Ayurvedic doctor, you see, all Ayurvedic doctors who are rooted in original tradition, whether Ayurvedic doctor or Siddha doctor, the traditional, authentic, scripturally educated, empowered, entrained Siddha doctors or Ayurvedic doctors, they will basically know the Jyotisham, because Jyotisha is Anga, part of Ayurveda science. சித்த வைத்தியத்தில் சரம் பார்த்தலும் ஆயுர்வேதத்தில் ஜோதிஷம் பார்த்தலும் மருத்துவத்தின் அடிப்படையான சத்தியங்களுள் ஒன்று. In Siddha tradition, there is something called sarambarthal. Means, when you go to the doctor, what was the breathing pattern of the doctor and breathing pattern of you? It's a science. And what was the pattern of the planets? I should say grahas, because the word planets is a mokka. Graha is the living word. For a living being, you cannot use the word it. For a living being, you only can use the word with the reverence of life added to it. Planets are living beings. Yadu pashita manya janmani subhasubham tasya karmanaha bhaktim vyajayati shastrametat tamasi dravyani deepa iva. Lagujatakam, sloka 3. This branch of science, the Hora Shastra, reveals the good and bad results earned as fruits of karmas done in past lives. Like a glowing lamp reveals the objects placed in darkness. Since this Shastra throws light, Jyotish, upon the karma in store for an individual to experience in his life, this Shastra is called Jyotish Shastra. All religious rituals of Hindus are guided by the lamp called Jyotish Shastra. All physical disease diagnosis is also guided by the Jyotish Shastra in Hindu tradition. If you go to a doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, Siddha doctor, he will first consult your horoscope and study your nadi and saram. Only then will start the treatment. Jyotish Shastra, also known as Vedic astrology, is the oldest of all sciences. Its history is traced back to the Vedas, whose rishis, by the expansion of their consciousness, which is the real Jyotish that lights up everything, were able to download, understand, reveal the science of Jyotish Shastra, Surya Siddhanta. Understand? If you start cognizing the element of consciousness in you, you will start respecting your swatantratva, ability to will and manifest, and you will start recognizing the same ability to will and manifest in planets, plants to planets. Then you will start developing reverence for life everywhere. Living with a tremendous love, reverence for life everywhere is only described by Isavasya Upanishad as Ishavashyamidagun sarvam. If you think you are just a matter, you will look at the whole world just as a matter. If you realize you are consciousness, then you will understand the whole thing which exists as consciousness. Ishavashyamidagun sarvam yatkincha jagatyan jagad tena tyaktena bunjitamakrudakasya sviddanam kurvannevega jijivishecha samaha evam dvayinanyate karma lipyate. Listen. First, Upanishad declares whatever exists is consciousness. Then they say, by not stealing, by renouncing, enjoy. Means, listen carefully, everyone's intention and the wealth they possess is married. Listen carefully. Listen. In Hindu tradition, the yajna, the sacred action you do to manifest the higher states, whether in wealth or health, or to have a child, anything you want to manifest, you can manifest through yajna. That sacred action, kriya, is considered to be the male, yajna purusha. And dana given, wealth given with yajna, that wealth dana is considered female, stri. when this male and female join together, the phala, result, child is born. So, the sacred kriya and the dana allotted both are married together. They always stay together. The intention and the wealth dedicated to it both are married. The economical chastity is too important for the result, phala, child to be born. Listen, this is one of the most important economic principle of Kailasa. Intention is married to the wealth forever. இஞ்சி வாங்க கொடுத்த பணத்தில் சுக்கு வாங்காதே. The money given to buy ginger, don't use it for dry ginger. That is economic chastity of Kailasa. That economic chastity evolves from this principle. The sacred action, it's basically sacred intention. Intention of the yajna listen, if a yajna is a purusha, yajna purusha, if the yajna is considered as yajna purusha, sankalpa, intention, is the potency of yajna purusha. So the potency of yajna purusha, intention, and the dana given for that yajna, both are married. The chastity, absolute exclusivity and chastity between these two is important for the result, phala, the child to be born. Phala, result is the child which is to be born between the yajna purusha and dana stri. Dana is considered as kanya, stri. Yajna is considered as the purusha. Sankalpa of the yajna, satya sankalpa of the yajna is the potency of purusha. Only if there is a chastity between the dana given and the intention, the phala, child is born, result is manifested. This is one of the most important economic principle of Kailasa. Economic strategy of Kailasa. Economic chastity. Money allotted to a temple should be used only for temple, cannot be used for any other purposes or any other secular activities or any other religious activities. Listen. If a money is allotted to temple, that money cannot be taken and used for running a monastery. No. If a money is allotted, that means the donor intends this dana for a monastery, you can't use that money for running a temple. If the dana is intended for conducting certain celebrations, utsavas, rituals in temple, it cannot be used for any other utsavas, rituals, or any other unintended purposes. Intention and dana is married eternally in Hinduism. So all Hindu wealth should be handled only with the Hindu economy policies, not with secular or any other religious other religions' economy policies. The secular economic policies has no right to enter into Hindu wealth or handling of the Hindu wealth. எங்கேயோ போகுது. சரி, இப்படியே நிறுத்திப்போம். அங்கிட்டு இங்கிட்டு போனா அடிப்பானுங்க, வலிக்கும் இல்ல. இங்கேயே நிறுத்திக்கலாம். At least in Kailasa, let us follow this principle of economic chastity. பொருளாதார கற்பு. செல்வ கற்பு சுதந்திரம். செல்வம் கற்போடு வாழ்வதற்கு அளிக்கப்படும் சுதந்திரம். செல்வம் கற்போடு வாழ்வதற்கு அளிக்கப்படும் உரிமை. Wealth intended for certain purpose should be used only for that purpose. Let me come back to the point I was trying to explain today. Satya Sankalpa, Purusha. Satya Sankalpa is the potency of Yajna Purusha. Understand? Your whole life is yajna. Your Satya Sankalpa matters. The time you spend in planet Earth is dana you give. Your body is the greatest weapon you carry. The time you spend in moving your body, using your body, is the dana you do. Your time, your treasure, your talent, all this can manifest something extraordinary which you never even imagine if conscious intention is added and if you cognize the possibility and powers of conscious intention. I tell you, I give you this one example. At some time, if my stomach is doing a strike, all I'll do is, hey, I am Paramashiva. This stomach is Jataragni of Paramashiva. Paramashivagni. Let me just sit unclutched. Add the Maha Shabda. Sheva, 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 Sheva to this fire of Paramashivagni. That's it. In few minutes, I'll see that some sound inside, the whole thing will settle down. Body will be completely fresh, alive, healed, active. the whole system, internal organ is healed. Understand? Even if you discover the power of conscious intention in small things like healing your headache, stomach pain, ability to sit in Padmasana for a long time, even in these small actions, if you discover the power of your intention, you will have so much confidence on your conscious capabilities, possibilities, and powers. That is all I am trying to inspire you today in this satsang. So, whatever I said, the economic policies, all that is secondary. This is the primary focus. See, whenever I give satsangs, I put many things on record. Like today, I put an important thing on record. The kind of a very beautiful relationship, coexistence, friendliness, which was there between my various gurus, helped me to assimilate all those sampradayas. This means I expect and request very cordial, loving, friendly coexistence in our Kailash also between the Vedanta teacher and yoga teacher, the teacher who teaches Sanskrit, the teacher who teaches integrity, authenticity, the teacher who teaches power manifestation. Between all of you, the sweet, powerful coexistence is needed for a child to grow conflict-free and assimilate everything. If there is a conflict between Ma Advait and Ma Pranapriya, or the teachers who teach yoga, or Pujacharya, that directly impacts, destroys the child. The coexistence all of them, all my gurus had, gave me tremendous respect, confidence, energy, intensity, positive experience about the knowledge they are carrying and those personalities. That is too important for a child to grow and receive all the best things. The kind of the influence each of them had on me. If they tried to turn me against, even subtly against one guru, I would have lost that sampradaya. It is like this single parent, divorced parents, when the children come to them for the weekend custody, how they slowly poison. The mother poisons about the father and father poisons about the mother. How much the child will suffer because of these two poisons and poisonings. You will not know how much the child will suffer because of these two poisoning. Mother poisoning about father and father's side family, father poisoning about mother and mother's side family. The child will be broken. Not only heartbroken, even mentally broken. I had the great fortune of amazing, sweet coexistence of many of my gurus and acharyas. That gave me a great space for me to assimilate everything, enjoy everything, make myself rich in all the tradition. Not for pride or arrogance or ego, I am telling you. I am telling you the simple truth. Actually, I am glory of my gurus. I am just a statement expressing my guru's glories. Me sitting, I am 42 now. Last 26 years, We have photos and videos of me sitting whole day in Padmasana and taking classes and jumping, whirling. This is glory of my yoga guru, Yogananda Puri, who prepared my body, and I am going to live at least 200 years just to glorify my yoga guru. His sincere hard work just to glorify him. I am going to be using this body for 200 years, happily, healthily. Many people are passing the comments in social media. What, is having some golden massage or gold leaf layered on his skin, body, pala pala shining? I'm giving you the secret. 3 things. Detox your internal organs with Haritaki, Triphala, castor oil, neem juice, arugambul juice. Listen, all this, I'm not even saying you should take all this every day. Even if you take once in 2 days, have few items one day. One day you can have Triphala and castor oil. Second day you can have Haritaki powder and Adimaduram. Third day you can have neem juice and arugambul juice. I don't know the English word for arugambul. It's a grass used for Ganapati puja, making juice out of it. One day you can have pure ghee and basmati rice. One day you can have very good Kanchipuram idli. That's a great medicine, I tell you. Kanchipuram idli with the right quantity of melagu. All that which is supposed to be added is the best medicine. In Hindu tradition, the food itself is taken such a way, it becomes medicine. Tasty medicine is food in Hindu tradition. Even neem juice. I've seen how my gurus will make me take neem juice. They will make the sesame seed balls, sesame seed and jaggery, and they will make me just gulp the neem juice and take this sesame seed ball. And I'll be nicely enjoying the sesame seed ball. Only the sesame seed and jaggery, that taste will be in the tongue. I won't even remember I took neem juice. I'll be actually waiting to take neem juice because I will get the sesame seed balls as bonus. Tasty medicine is diet in Hinduism, in Vedic tradition. Do all this detoxing, then you will see you are also pala, jilu jilu, amuk amal dumal. I tell you, each of my gurus, they poured their life on me. The clarity with which I can grasp all the great spiritual principles and explain. That is because of my ability to unclutch, which is the pure gift from Annamalai Swamigal. It is just a simple gift from him. my ability to operate in Sagaja Samadhi, space of Paramashiva, gift from Isaki Swamigal. All my Guru's glory is only my life. My ability to be in Ajapa Japa state. I can actually keep the Japamala whole night. Even if you think I'm sleeping, the mala will be rolling in my hand continuously. That is the gift given to me by Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. He is the Ajapa Japa Purusha. He is actually the embodiment of Ajapa Japa. He gave me the gift of Ajapa Japa. I tell you. I put all this on record. And today also I put a very important point called economic chastity. How the intention is married to the dana. Dana Kanya, Yanya Purusha. How both of them are married. And how the Satya Sankalpa is the potency of Yanya Purusha. All this I put it on record. Actually, that is the reason I made a clear law in Kailasa, the Reserve Bank of Kailasa. And there is going to be one more unit called Federal Reserve of Kailasa. And there is the Hindu World Trade Center. All these units, everything will be administered only by the sannyasis who took the oath in front of the fire doing Viraja Homa. They will live aparigraha, non-possessiveness, asteya, non-stealing, ahimsa, non-violence, satya, truth, brahmacharya, living like God. Only the sannyasis who took these vows in front of fire in Viraja Homa, they will be the Reserve Bank directors and governors in Kailas. This vows for sannyasis is not just spiritual and social, it will be legal. If they miss in these vows, they cannot be directors of Reserve Bank of Kailasa anymore. The first priority is going to be the Balasans, kids who joined my Gurukul as minors and grew up in Gurukul, became adults and stayed with the Sangha throughout and took sannyas. They will be the first class citizens of Kailasa. They will be called as crown princes and prince. Crown prince, crown princess. The next class will be kids who joined in Gurukul as minor, grew up, trained, evolved, but in between, due to their teenage or some reason, they missed some of the vows of sannyas. But decided to do prayaschitta, came back to their integrity. That class, those sannyas will be the second, next level. The third will be adults who joined the Sangha. When they came to the Sangha, they were adults. So they had training and took these vows and successful sannyas. they will be the third tier. So I am clearly categorizing who are going to be the directors of Reserve Bank of Kailasa, who are authorized to be the directors and members of Federal Reserve of Kailasa, the other units like Hindu World Trade Center, who are going to be administering the wealth donated to Kailasa, because intention and the dana, integrity to the intention and the dana need to be maintained. That is economic chastity. And in all these policies and processes, each country in which we are operating, those countries' laws are the first priority. Without violating those laws, following those laws, we need to keep the economic chastity and integrity, the intention of the donor. That is the way the whole Kailasa organizations externally in many countries and internally in Mahakailasa is getting structured. I am just giving the Hindu principles and vision. The 6 international companies auditing experienced companies. There are 2 companies which is working for us as 100 years expertise in international auditing. So we have taken all their services for legally structuring this whole Reserve Bank of Kailasa and Federal Reserve of Kailasa and Treasury of Kailasa. Understand? Any nation, the important constituent of the nation is treasury. So here the Hindu treasury comes with the Hindu principles of economy, especially this economic chastity. All these principles I share with these companies whom we hired their services, and they are structuring, working with various governments. In some countries, a non-profit organization. In some countries, for-profit organization. In some countries, the organization entity can be partially profit, partially for-profit, partially non-profit. So based on each country's laws, these entities and bodies are formed. Keeping that country's laws, rules, regulations as the first priority, and the Hindu vision, Hindu economic policies as the next priority, but without compromising on the economic chastity. I also made a rule. The government governing expenses cannot cross more than 1% of any donation received or money generated. The whole governance of Kailasa has to run within less than 1% of the whole economy, the whole GDP of Kailasa. Only then the sannyasis will retain their Brahminical lifestyle. Understand? In Kailasa, Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra does not come by birth, jati. No. It comes by the quality of your lifestyle. Based on how you exist, how you choose to exist, based on that, you are given the title, whether you are a Brahmana or Vaishya or Kshatriya or Shudra. Not by birth, but by quality. And the sannyasis who are administering, who are the governors, who are directors of the Reserve Bank of Kailasa or Federal Reserve of Kailasa, is expected to have absolute aparigraha and asteya lifestyle, living with minimal things, the minimalistic lifestyle and non-stealing lifestyle. The elaborate 300-page economic policies and strategies are already evolved, which I will be revealing in a detailed way in Ganesh Chaturthi. All right. So with this, the essence of today's satsang is your conscious intention is you. The principal dimension of your core principle. So, strengthen your conscious intention towards the right goal of life. So, with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, casting, living Shuddhat by the Saivam, the state, space, powers, being, super consciousness, and Kailasa, Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.